Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight. Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm your Astro Weather Girl here with the information all about the second last week of the year. Thanks for joining me. And happy Christmas to everybody. I'm wearing my Christmas colours today, getting in the festive spirit. I do have to go this evening to my daughter's school graduation for the end of year for her, and I thought, well, let's get with the happy season. And so here I am in my green and white today. And happy Christmas to everyone. This video will be screening for the next week because we're looking at this week from the 18th until the 25th of December 2019. The last Christmas for the old decade. Now I have to admit that the last couple of weeks has been pretty heavy duty. You've probably noticed this yourself. It's been very hard energy with that Venus conjunct with Saturn, and the full moon in Gemini hasn't been that easy to bear with either. There's some difficulties with that one, with some aspects that were made, etc. Certainly I felt the manifestation of rewards and gains as I spoke of in my last video. However, it hasn't come without a lot of weight and a lot of heaviness, which is mostly due to the influence of Saturn and Venus making a conjunction, and then Saturn and Pluto making a conjunction after that. So I have some good news now, which is that things are looking, well, in a sense, looking up, and also giving us a chance to catch our breath and find a sense of relief after that couple of weeks of heaviness. So yay, just in time for Christmas, we can actually find a bit of relief and catch our breath. And this week, it's all about the solstice. Solstice, solstice, solstice. This is the big energy of this week. And I love solstice time, be it the winter solstice or the summer solstice. It's a magical period of the year. And this month, we're looking at the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. Depending on where you are in the world, that's how it will play out. So what is the solstice? Well, essentially it is when the sun reaches 0 degrees of Capricorn in the tropical zodiac system. So this is occurring for us on the 22nd of this month, 22nd of December. And it usually falls, the exact movement of the sun into Capricorn at 0 degrees of Capricorn usually happens between the 21st and the 23rd of December, generally each year. This year it's falling on the 22nd. And so this actually in astronomical terms is when the sun has reached the Tropic of Cancer, which is the degree in longitude and latitude system of the sun being as far south as it is going to go. It's at its zenith, at its maximum southerly point in its trajectory. And from here, it's going to stand still in the sky, not literally to our eye, but it will stop at this point at the 23rd degree of Capricorn, which is the Tropic of Capricorn degree. And then it will start to move back towards the equator and continue on towards the Tropic of Cancer, which will then, when it reaches the zenith, which is the Tropic of Cancer at 23 degrees of Cancer, that will happen on the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. Then it will be at its zenith, heading north from the equator. And when it's at that point, then it will stop and station and turn around again, essentially, and head back towards the Tropic of Capricorn again, and so on and so on. Every year, this is how the sun moves in the sky, according to our positioning of the Earth and our view of the sun astronomically. So we're reaching the point of the sun's furthest declination towards the south, which is the Tropic of Capricorn. Now, when the sun hits this point, the solstice point, it's considered to be the beginning of summer or winter, depending on where you are in the world, as I said. So for us in Australia, those of us in Australia like myself, it will be the beginning of summer. And I've certainly noticed in my observations that it suddenly gets hotter after this solstice point. We might have a couple of days here or there where it's, 35, maybe even 40 degrees prior to the solstice, but not on a regular basis. It's sort of a one-off, and most of the time the weather's quite pleasant and mild up until solstice. And then it's like the earth goes, hey, it's now summer. Bang, let's move into continual 40 degrees or high 30 degrees in Celsius. So I have noticed that January and February and the latter part of December get particularly hot here in Australia because it's summer, and it's like we recognize after the solstice is done, now we're really cooking, literally. And the same applies for the Northern Hemisphere, but in this season we're looking at winter. So things, I know it's been a lot colder in the Northern Hemisphere than usual. There's a great deal of theory as to why this is. I am quite interested by the grand solar minimum theory, which is possibly why we've been experiencing a colder winter in the Northern Hemisphere. But this is not the platform to discuss that theory right now. However, usually after solstice, winter solstice, that's when the heavy snows come and the cold winds come and things get very chilly in the Northern Hemisphere. So solstice marks the trigger point for actually entering into winter or summer, depending on where you are. Now, solstice has been celebrated since ancient times, like the Celts, the Norse, the American native peoples. There was a great emphasis on celebrating these particular cycles of the sun. And of course, solstice was a celebration time. Now, in the days of Julius Caesar, he established a new calendar in 46 BC. And when he did so, the solstice was actually falling around the 25th of December, not the 21st, 22nd, or 23rd, as we can sort of look for these days. Back then, about 2,000 years ago, it was falling on the 25th of December, which explains to some extent why they initiated Christmas as a celebration on the 25th of December, because it actually at that time fell on the solstice. And as I said, solstice had been celebrated by many of the earlier cultures when we recognize the shift from of the sun from changing from going south to heading north again. The word solstice actually means to stand still. So here is the sun twice a year reaching its standstill point before it turns and heads the other direction. This time it's ceasing to head further south, and it's going to start moving bit by bit back towards the north. Now, the further that you live from the equator, the more extreme you're going to see this distance, or what they call a declination. And this is between the rising point of the sun in the summer and the rising point of the sun in the winter. So I live quite at a low latitude down near Melbourne in Australia, and of course the rising declination of the sun in winter to the rising point of the sun in summer is quite a wide one. But the closer you get to the equator, the less that is. And depending on where you are in the world will depend how wide that declination is and that difference is. Now, astrologically, the solstice is actually a much better time to set intentions than the new year is, actually. And this is because there's nothing astrologically or astronomically significant about the 1st of January. There's nothing going on in the skies. There will be things going on in the skies, but nothing of a cyclical significant nature like this. And particularly the sun is heralding by stopping, heading north again, is starting a whole new cycle that's going to last 6 months. The moon does this every month. We get a new moon and it starts a new cycle around the horoscope at new moon. And so that's why we set intentions at the new moon for the new cycle of the moon. This is particularly significant because it's a bit rarer than the cycle of the moon. The solstice marks a twice yearly occurrence of the sun changing direction. So we can actually set intentions to change direction with our life now and work in unison with these cycles of the earth, which is why the ancients celebrated and held festivals and honored and delighted in this particular period to mark the change in direction that life was now going to take. So it's a really excellent time for making intentions, planning what you hope to achieve in the coming year ahead, or the coming 6 months ahead, particularly until the next solstice, for making goals and setting your visions for what will come, just like we tend to do at New Year. And there's a reason why New Year resolutions don't actually stick very well, because they're not in support by anything astrologically. So this is a much better time to do that now as we head into the solstice, which will be on the 22nd of December. I'm actually intending to make a beautiful celebration of this solstice in recognition of what the ancients used to do, and the fact that this is an astrological cycle that we are beginning. In a sense, it is the new year, the new astrological year we are embarking on from solstice. And I therefore want to hold a ceremony, if you want to call it that, with my family, with my children and my boyfriend. And I want to go out to the forest or the bush here in Australia, and we're going to have a lovely meal out there in the bush together and watch the stars come out and set intentions by firelight, hopefully, if there's no total fire bans, and be able to watch the stars come out with marking our intentions together as a little family. So that's my strategy for celebrating the solstice. What are yours? Let us know in the comments section how you plan to celebrate solstice, what you'll be doing to mark the occasion and direct energy towards your intentions for the new year. Setting intentions is actually a very powerful thing to do. And if you're familiar with the works of Deepak Chopra and his 7 spiritual laws of success, you'll know that he speaks of the 5th spiritual law of success, which is the law of intention and desire. And I'm going to read a little bit from the law of intention and desire, one of the 7 spiritual laws of success, for you now, in the light of what we're talking about here, setting intentions for the solstice this year. How can you harness the power of intention to fulfill your dreams and desires? Well, you can get results through effort, but if you follow these 5 steps in the law of intention and desire, your intentions will generate their own power. 1. Center yourself in the silent space between thoughts, in the essential state of being. 2. Release your intentions and desires with the expectation that they will bloom when the season is right. 3. Keep your desires to yourself. Do not share them with anyone else unless they are closely bonded with you. 4. Relinquish your attachment to the outcome and let the universe handle all the details. Remember, your true nature is one of pure potentiality. You don't need to look at yourself through the eyes of the world or allow yourself to be influenced by the opinions of others. Remain established in the awareness of your true self. Carry the awareness of your spirit wherever you go. Gently release all your desires, and the universe will orchestrate the details for you. So that's just a small part of the fabulous book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. And if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. It certainly supported me through one of the darkest periods of my life and helped me get everything back on track again. So setting intentions is a very important process that we can do right now that will stand us in good stead for the next 6 months. And I wanted to wish everybody a happy solstice and a happy astrological new year in that sense. Now, on to what is unfolding for us all in the skies that might impact the energy of Christmas for us. Well, we've got a really special configuration unfolding on Christmas Day here in Australia, probably the 24th in other parts of the world, but on Christmas Day, we will be having a trine from the Sun to Uranus. And that's, of course, going to look a little like this. Here is the Sun. By this time, it's going to be in Capricorn, and it will be trining at 2 degrees of Capricorn, trining Uranus at 2 degrees of Taurus. So this is going to be a beautiful energy, just perfect for Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, depending on where you are in the world celebrations. So this is going to be an energy that allows us to express ourselves and our uniqueness very easily, because a trinal energy is to flow. It's to have things sort of land in our lap without effort. So our uniqueness, which is Uranus, and our self-expression, the sun, are joining easily and harmoniously in the sky through this trine to the exact degree. And so we're going to express our uniqueness easily at this time. Excitement's going to be enhanced, just what we need for Christmas. Imagine the head up nature of your little kids on Christmas night with this energy, because this is an energy that increases excitement. My God, they'll be off the Richter scale. So get ready if you're a parent. But it's also going to be an energy that can bring you increased self-confidence and the ability to express, like I said, the unique side of yourself in an excited, animated kind of way. So lots of blessing in that regard. It's also going to enhance your perception and your intuition, and this is because Uranus is the planet of intuition and the sun is the ego or the self-identity. So you're going to be identified very much with your own intuitive capabilities. You'll be able to tap into those easily and trust them and use them. And it is a time when you will even feel really good about getting out of your comfort zone, widening your social circle, getting social, because this is a socially connective aspect rather. So perfect energy for Christmas. We're going to explore what this energy might look like for all signs and where we're going to experience this excitement, this desire to get out of our comfort zone in some way, in an easy, harmonious way, and where we're going to feel an increase in our sense of self-expression and our intuition. So let's explore what that means for all signs. We're going to start here with Aries. So we've got a connection, if you're Aries rising, between the second house and the 10th house. Of course, both of these energies are earth signs, so it's going to be very tangibly felt, very much felt in the physical realm. So you can apply this if you're Aries rising or Aries sun or moon, but for the rising signs, it's going to be felt so much more with so much more strength and noticeability. So this is where the second house and 10th house is where you might need to get out of your comfort zone, and that will have to do with making money and developing a mission in life. 10th house, second house. It's also, the second house has to do with your self-esteem and your self-worth, and of course this is the planet up here of ego and self-confidence. So this is where you'll need to get out of your comfort zone, Aries rising people, in some way to, and it'll happen easily for you, to initiate more self-confidence and self-worth and self-value. You probably find that the opportunity to do so comes your way, flows your way quite easily. Self-worth and self-value in a radical new way, connecting with the planet of ego and self-expression. So you'll be expressing yourselves, Aries rising, in a way that's very unique, maybe a bit radical in the best possible way, very different kind of energy. And you'll get out of your comfort zone with that. You'll seek more self-expression and more excitement with your mission in life. So you're going to be more excited about what you're doing, what worldly achievements you're creating, the legacy that you're leaving. You're going to feel a lot more enthusiasm and excitement about that, and about how your mission can generate financial support and a sense of self-esteem for you as well. The outer security of life and the inner self-security as well will be switched on, enhanced and invigorated through this energy. So that's a lovely thing to feel at Christmas time. Now for Taurus rising people, this energy is falling obviously in your first house, Taurus rising, where you've got Uranus for the next 6 years or so, and it's making this beautiful harmonious connection with the sun in the ninth house. So what this means is that these are the realms you'll be getting out of your comfort zone quite easily with. You'll be getting excited by, you'll be expressing your uniqueness in, and you'll get more excitement and invigoration essentially. And so this is you and your journey. You will be really amped up and excited about the path that your life is now taking. Something might happen suddenly out of the blue that brings some sort of blessing to your life journey when, when this configuration occurs in the sky. You might get something really wonderful for Christmas, and it might set you on a path to a new discovery of who you are and a new understanding, maybe a self-help book, or maybe you get some sort of new a gift. It's a new hobby for you. It becomes a new hobby and a new passion for you, but something about your trajectory and your life journey this lifetime will be enhanced and invigorated by this connection on Christmas Day. Not only that, but the sun is falling in the 9th house of beliefs. So your beliefs can be excited and invigorated at this time. You might get an epiphany and a new vision and new insight about who you are and what you stand for, and your moral compass might be enhanced. You might get a unique approach, a new unique vision of what life is and what people's beliefs are. You might understand your old beliefs, because Capricorn is old things. It's just so much better and in a more invigorated sense now. That it really will gel for you, your beliefs. Also, you might get out of your comfort zone in an easy, blessed way if you're Taurus rising, but also Taurus moon and sun to a lesser extent. You might get out of your comfort zone now with regard to what you believe. And even you might do some travel that will excite you and get you out of your comfort zone. So, you might have never imagined that you could go for a trip to Cabo or something like that. And here the opportunity avails itself out of the blue suddenly, and you can go for a trip that expands your view of the world and your view of people and belief systems and so on. That could be a real blessing to your particular journey in life. So that's what we might find if we are Taurus rising. It's going to be a very invigorated Christmas in that regard. Now for Gemini rising people, and to a lesser extent Gemini sun and moon, this energy is falling for you in some very important houses. You Gemini people have had a bit of a rough trot throughout the last couple of years, and this has been because of all this Capricorn Saturn, Capricorn Pluto action, and now we've got all this intensity in your 8th house of change. Change, reinvention, regeneration, and intimacy is the 8th house, and it's connecting with the 12th house through this energy of karma in a very united, harmonious way with a trine. So you can expect that in some way there is going to be a shaking out of your comfort zone that will actually bring blessing and transformation. 8th house. It might bring you more intimacy. It might bring you a sense of regeneration of the self, which is just what you've probably been needing, to get that excited energy of Uranus, Trine, Sun in the 8th house. That excited energy of knowing who you are finally. You've sorted out your finances, you've been setting your business straight, or you've been working on intimacy issues for the last however long, 2 years or something, working out your intimacy issues, purging what's not working and embracing what does. And now in moves the sun, makes a trine to the planet of Uranus, and suddenly you get excited about intimacy issues. You regenerate your intimacy and your connection to finances. This is a house of other people's finances. There is perhaps some sudden blessing through other people's money, or sudden blessing of intimacy that arrives because of this connection. And it will be a very karmic one, because Uranus is sending this excited electric blessing from the house of karma, the house of the past, the house of where we've been over maybe many lifetimes, to invigorate and regenerate you now. So this is quite an important period for Gemini people, where you're going to get some support and some help at last because of this. Actually, this Uranus has probably been holding all the action in the 8th house in good stead for you for the last, since I think it was March in 2019. So he's been doing you a lot of supportive favors having Uranus there at this time. But this is a time when you guys particularly will feel shaken out of your comfort zone, and it'll happen easily without hurt and wounding. It will mean a reinvigoration and reinvention and some change in your life that's going to happen with ease. It might happen unexpectedly and suddenly, but it's a blessed unexpected occurrence. It's a invigorated, in the best possible way, unexpected occurrence. And it could mean something like you find something that was lost, because this is a house of losing things, or you get reinvented in a beautiful way, or you get a windfall, like a beautiful Christmas gift that you never expected, or some sort of inheritance gift that you never expected, other people's money, or somehow your intimacy issues are invigorated and regenerated. Like I said, this is the kind of energy that we can see play out here. You'll have an increased sense of self-expression in really unique, quirky ways, maybe in your sexuality and your sexual expression. That could be very beautiful and wonderful for you around this time. You might be released from some sort of sexual hang-up or sexual problem through this this great aspect that's all about finding your authenticity and your truth sexually, Uranus making an aspect to the house of sexuality. So that could be a real gift and a blessing that arises at this time too. And you will be caused to get out of your comfort zone now in the best possible way with your sense of self, your self-identity, your self-esteem, and your sexuality, maybe other people's money too. So you could find a lot of blessing comes to you, Gemini rising people, through this configuration falling in what we term in Vedic astrology the more difficult houses. So blessing here for Gemini rising. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear that. I'm very glad to share that with you too. Cancer rising people. Whoops. Well, of course, all this energy in Capricorn's falling in your 7th house, the house of the other. Like you're here and this is other people. And so we're going to get really energized now with other people. Cancer rising particularly at this time can find that this is a period of time, particularly over the next month or so, when a new love can enter your life, or a new business partnership, or a new committed relationship, or a brand new audience or group of clients can enter your life. Because when you've got this much action going on in your 7th house, it is head up, it is energized, it is transformative. So if you're Cancer rising particularly, it will be strongest, but also to a lesser extent Sun and Moon, then you can expect that something in the dynamics of your relationships with other people is going to shift and alter in the best way now, especially with this beautiful trine that is being made. And it's coming from the house, Uranus is in the house of rewards and gains for you, Cancer rising people. So there could be some reward, some honor, some accolade that comes your way now through a business partnership, through a marriage, through your clients, through some sort of audience that you have. If you're Cancer rising, that's where you can be receiving the rewards and gains through this trine, and it might come unexpectedly. It might be very invigorating for you. It might bring more excitement to your life through your marriage or through your friendships as well. This is a house of friendships and social groups, so they can be also sending invigoration and excitement and electricity of joy into your life at this time. So this is actually a lovely configuration. You may need to get out of your comfort zone in an easy way. It'll happen for you without effort to get out of your comfort zone with your marriage, with your business partnerships, with your friends. It will just easily flow and manifest that you will get out of a rut somehow with ease, with grace. And there's going to be an increase of your self-expression, perhaps in your business, perhaps in your marriage, perhaps with your friends. There will be an ease of, expressing your unique self and being authentic and true to who you really are. This is a time for doing that. When we've got Uranus, the planet of authenticity and truth, making a beautiful, easy aspect to the Sun, the planet of ego and the self, it means that we start expressing authentically and with great honesty and integrity who we actually are. And you'll do this in a very social way, Cancer rising, with others, with your partner, with your business, and with your friendships and social groups. So a great time at Christmas to be really being truly yourself with these people and being invigorated. You might get some sort of blessing and reward from these people that comes into your life as well. Woo! Bit stuck. Okay, now beautiful Leo rising people, and also to a lesser extent those of us who have a Leo sun like me or a Leo moon, like I know a lot of you do, but this is going to be mostly for Leo rising. It will apply most strongly to. You've got this energy of Capricorn, full on planets everywhere, falling in your 6th house And then you've got this beautiful trinal energy from the planet Uranus coming to you from the 10th house. What does this mean? Well, you're going to be more excited and invigorated about expressing yourself in your career at this time. Now, I know on the 25th of December, most people will be having a holiday, putting their feet up, eating far too much food, but generally the energy of this time, it'll be felt for a few days before and a few days after. So something about your career or your worldly achievements or how you wish to be recognized in the world will be invigorated and excited. And you'll get the chance, if you are Leo strong in the chart, you will get the chance to be recognized for your unique self, your authenticity, your truth, in a very excited and blessed way. So it could be by doing something really distinctive that gets seen by lots of people, masses of people. It could be by presenting your true nature, your true character, your authentic quirkiness in the workplace, wherever it is that you work, Leo. You might have, if you're like me, I'm a Leo sun, not a rising, but still applies to a lesser extent. In the workplace, you might do something really quirky, really, really kooky this week. To say for me, I'm putting whatever my work is to put videos online. Maybe I do something quirky with a video and it gets recognized and it gets some sort of worldly recognition here in the 10th house. And there's some sort of blessing that comes from that. I feel, if I'm using this as an analogy, but I would feel more excited, more invigorated, and joyful about putting my unique quirkiness and talents and whatever out there through my work or through my daily routine or through my, my service that I offer to the world, which is my videos each week. And there would be this unique self-expression that comes out, getting out of your comfort zone, facing your fears and just jumping in the deep end. And those of you who listened to the intro on my video know that I did something very unusual, not like me, that came before I even recognized that this energy was playing out, where I sang a little Christmas song in the intro to this video. Now, I just have to say I did that before I even thought about this energy playing out, but it ties in perfectly. There I am expressing my quirkiness and my uniqueness in something that I do for work, my everyday work and routine to offer service through my videos. And who knows how it might be received. But with this energy, it could be very supportive as, recognition, worldly achievement, doing something that is seen by many people and the masses. So we'll see how that one plays out. But that's me as a Leo sun. If you have Leo rising, it could play out in a very strong way through a similar type scenario. Putting your expression on your work, putting a stamp of yourself and your uniqueness on your work, in your workplace, with the service that you offer the world, and has to do with the mission that you have in life and the ability to be seen and have a legacy and have some sort of worldly achievement. So that's what we're looking if we're Leo rising, sun or moon. Now, if we are Virgo rising, sun or moon, all of this beautiful energy is trining your ascendant, guys. For you, for Virgo rising people, you're actually quite blessed by this because, as you can see, there's a trine here from the 5th house to the 9th, and there's a trine from the 9th to the 1st, you, Virgo rising, and a trine from the 1st to the 5th. So this creates a grand trine energy with your ascendant. It depends what degree your ascendant is at. If you're Virgo, if you are at Virgo, say 0 degrees of Virgo ascendant to maybe 8 degrees of Virgo ascendant, 6 or 8 degrees, you will be feeling this energy very powerfully, very beautifully. It is creating a trine with your ascendant degree. So that's quite special. Now, it also applies if you're Virgo, sun or moon too, but to a much lesser extent than Virgo rising. But how this energy will play out for you is that you will feel like expressing your uniqueness, expressing your individuality in the realm of self-expression. So you'll have fun with it. You'll enjoy expressing yourself. Virgo, I mean, depending on the full chart configuration, and we're all very different, but Virgo people, they're usually a bit quieter, generally speaking, unless there's other things in the chart that say otherwise, but generally they're a bit quieter and they offer service to people in the background. But now is your chance with this beautiful energy to put yourself out there. Here I am, this is what I can do. These are my talents, these are my skills, these are my hobbies, which is seen by the 5th house, and you'll do this with ease now. You'll express yourself with ease. Your ego will be pumped up, which is a good thing, by this beautiful, easy energy of Uranus to the 5th house here. So you'll get out of your comfort zone with your self-expression now. And it'll come easily and with joy. Plus, this is coming from the 9th house. You might be invigorated and take on board more personally now some sort of new belief system, some sort of new ideology, or you might discover something new that you can really incorporate into your moral values or your understanding of life. Can be quite a blessing. So there's more excitement now. Maybe you'll feel more excited because of this connection about your beliefs, maybe about traveling as well. This is a house of travel. You might get the opportunities to explore other cultures. Even if it's just, you're kicking back on Christmas afternoon, you put the telly on, and on Netflix there's a fabulous documentary about ancient Middle Eastern cultures. And you get stuck in and you get excited by it and you're enjoying it. It's higher learning, it's other cultures, and it's done through pleasure and fun. You're watching this fabulous doco and you're really enjoying it. That's the kind of thing that could be playing out, and it could be so much more than that too, because remember, you've got this easy grand trine happening. Could turn out that you get an opportunity to go to some ancient Middle Eastern tour of Egypt or something, or an ancient tour of I don't know, somewhere over near Babylon or something like that. But some sort of fabulous opportunity that comes your way out of the blue, unexpected, really quirky and left of center, that gives you the chance to explore and expand your horizons on and around this time. Sort of a few days before Christmas, few days after Christmas, this will be felt. So quite invigorated and beautiful. You might also find, if you are somebody who is on the lookout, shall we say, for your second life partner, then you might find that this could actually invigorate somebody coming into your life, especially if you've got key planets at these points that are being activated, because this is the house of the second life partner, and it's getting an authentic activation from Uranus. Uranus's authenticity, its truth, it's being honest and real, and that is connecting with the 5th house of love and romance. Also house of sex and fun and pleasure in that regard, lovers. So there is this beautiful, invigorated, unexpected, out of the blue energy for Virgo rising people who might be looking for a second life partner and falling in love. That can definitely play out if all the stars align, as they say. So lots of fun for Virgo rising people. Now, for Libra rising people, and to a lesser extent Libra suns and moons as well, but the rising sign will be the strongest. To say that with every sign, don't I? So people know how I work here. But this is using whole sign astrology. And in whole sign astrology, well, this is falling in your 4th house. This energy of the sun trine to Uranus is falling in the 4th house and the 8th house. So what this means, if you're Libra rising, is on Christmas Day, you might be very drawn to self-expression with family. You might be connecting with family in a very unexpected way. Maybe it's family that you haven't seen in ages, and in some unexpected or out of the ordinary kind of way, you communicate with family, you're involved with family, you spend time with family in an unexpected, or with people who are not your conventional family, maybe more like your friends. Uranus is more connected to friends than family, so and when family can feel more like friends. So you might be having Christmas with friends if you're Libra rising, or with a different branch of the family that you don't usually connect with. And so here, the sun falling in the 4th house is going to give you the chance to express yourself honestly, openly with the people that you spend time with on the 25th of December. Now, it's also going to give you a chance to reinvent yourself, to reinvigorate yourself. This is the 8th house after all. And the 8th house is all about, our intimate needs. Now, this can be intimacy with a partner, but in this case, it's going to be more connected to family. So it's feeling more connected with family in a really harmonious way. It's feeling more regenerated by these interactions with your community or your family or, the immediate environment of which you live. You're going to feel more alive, more authentic, more true. You can be your real self now. And in doing so, you will be reinvigorated. You will be, feel confident. There's a great deal of confidence that can come with this connection. You'll feel more confident about who you are and what you stand for. You will feel more renewed, because this energy from the 8th house is an energy of renewal. If you think about the regeneration that is represented by the death and birth process in the 8th house, it is an energy of renewal. So you as a person, your ego, your sense of self-esteem and self-worth is going to be renewed through the connections that you make this Christmas day. So that's actually a beautiful energy to carry for Libra rising people this month. This is the house of your most intimate self, your personal private self. So it's at that level that there's going to be a restoration that occurs. It's going to be very unexpected and very enlivening. Your inner sense of self-worth and self-value, the deepest core sense of who you are and self-esteem is going to be blessed. It's going to be upheld and invigorated by this glorious trine between Uranus and the Sun in these houses. So a great deal of blessing awaits you this Christmas, Libra moon people and Sun and rising sign. All right, now on the solstice, we're going to have the moon is falling in Scorpio. That's why the moon is sitting there. And for Scorpio, I'll have to hold this. For Scorpio rising people, this energy of Uranus, trine Sun is falling in their 3rd house and their 7th house. So there is a real invigoration of relationships here. The 3rd house is a house of networking and connection. It's also a house of siblings and relatives. And this is the house here. The 7th house is the house of partners in business and in personal life as well. So it is here that you're going to find a sense of self-esteem with these people, sense of self-worth that will be reinvigorated by connecting, networking, being in partnership. So you will find that your sense of excitement is in these realms, connecting with these people. You'll find that you can increase your self-expression in some way if you're Scorpio rising with your siblings or your relatives or your partner. Maybe you haven't spoken to your siblings all year and you go to Christmas because, hey, you've got to go to Christmas and make mum happy. And it's there that you connect with your siblings in a brand new way that is just more invigorating than anything you recalled was between you. Uranus will bring an electrified energy to your sense of self-worth with your siblings, with your relatives, or with your partners as well. These two are exchanging energies, and of course the Sun is such a massive energy of self-esteem and self-worth. It's where we shine, it's where we glow, and this energy exchange is a beautiful one. So in both these realms, you're going to be enlivened. Your communication will be really switched on, really enhanced at this time. You'll be very intuitive about your communication and very logical about your communication. It will come from the heart. It will mean something. So the communications you have with these people are going to be very valuable and very affirming for you. Connecting with these people is going to take you out of your comfort zone. So maybe in the best way, not in a yuck way, but in a way that says, hey, this feels good. I love this, So maybe you've always, at Christmas, you always got together with maybe your cousins or something, and you always had Christmas dinner as kids, and you played cricket after Christmas dinner, and it was so fun, but you haven't done it for years. Well, this could be the year where somebody says, hey, let's have a hit of cricket again after Christmas dinner. So you do, and you're all out there in the street or the paddock or wherever having a hit of cricket, and it's like old times, and it's like, wow, this connection, I remember this is really fantastic. And I say like old times because this is in Capricorn, which is about tradition. So if it was always a tradition to play cricket at Christmas, that's what you'll hark back to and be invigorated by and restored by, in the sense of delight and pleasure and self-esteem. It'll really touch you sentimentally at the heart level when that plays out. So the traditions with family and relatives, siblings, and traditions with partners and so on. This is where, if you're Scorpio rising, you might get a sense of great invigoration and joy at this time. There's also, like I said, getting out of the comfort zone with these people, increasing your self-expression in a positive, helpful way with these people, and having more excitement right now in your connections with these people. So Scorpio, you're in for quite a special treat this Christmas. Okay, Sagittarius people. With this as your rising sign, well, you've got this energy falling in the 6th house. That's where Uranus sits, and it's making a trine to the 2nd house. So it is through your everyday service and your everyday work and routine, your health and well-being, that some invigoration will be connecting with the 2nd house. Now, the 2nd house is our outer sense of security. It's the things that we have in our life that bring us a sense of stability. Our food, our shelter, our clothing. You know, when we don't have those things, we don't feel very secure and stable in a material sense. So everything that supports our body's journey through life is seen from the 2nd house. It's also their sense of self-worth is seen from the 2nd house as well. So it's that inner identity, the inner sense of security of an inner nature. You've got outer security and inner security happening through the 2nd house. And here it's making a connection to what you do every day, the service you offer, the routine that you have, your health and well-being. So your health and well-being, your service, the work that you do is going to be very enhanced now, or there's going to be a connection between that and your sense of self-worth and sense of security in the best possible way. And it's through these things, maybe through your service to the world, that you'll be able to offer some sort of uniqueness, unique self-expression, Sagittarius rising, or sun or moon to a lesser extent. I think I might have said that. But it's your unique self-expression, because the sun is our self-expression. It's who we are and our ego, and this is our authenticity and truth. And it's happening in an easy way, that through your service to the world, through your daily routine, your self-expression comes out in a beautiful way. Or you get a sense of excitement, and this is coming through maybe the money that you earn. Maybe you get a pay rise. Maybe you get a chance to earn more money in some way, or have more nice things. So maybe a beautiful, maybe you get a chance to have a lovely Christmas lunch somewhere with family, and it's really wonderful, and the food's great, and nobody has to clean up. It's pleasurable, it's fun, you're out at a restaurant, it's just good times. So there's an invigoration between the 2nd house, which is food and pleasure and fun, in this instance, the example I'm giving, and the health and well-being of your diet. There's this beautiful, easy energy of fun, joy, excitement that happens in that way. It can also be an expression of gifts. So, you've used the money from your everyday work and routine to buy gifts, and that's part of your self-expression, to give these beautiful gifts to others. And you might need to get out of your comfort zone in some way as well, in an easy way, with regard to how you are serving, how you're showing up in the world with acts of kindness, acts of compassion in a practical sense. And it'll come easy for you now. In fact, your ego, your sense of value, your sense of self-worth may very well be tied to how you are helping others now. So for you guys, Sagittarius rising, going to a soup kitchen on Boxing Day and offering your service to help people who don't have a sense of security, outer security, and who are less fortunate than you, might be a really invigorating thing to do. It might be really great for your self-esteem and sense of self-worth to go and do that, to be there for other people. Of all the signs, you guys, Sagittarius rising, can benefit at a core heart level by offering some sort of service to the world. at this Christmas time, and we all know there's so many people who need it. Maybe you invite somebody who has no family around them right now in to share Christmas with you. They're at a disadvantage because they don't have family, or family are a long way away, and you invite them in and let them share your pleasure, your joy, your Christmas presents, your Christmas lunch with you. So it's in being compassionate, it's in serving others, that you can have the most invigorated, happy, exciting Christmas if you're Sagittarius rising or sun or moon. And it might cause you to have to get out of your comfort zone, but it's going to feel really good to do so. It's going to be great for your sense of self-worth and your sense of self-esteem. So if we are Capricorn rising, whoo, look at all that energy in your sign, Cappy rising people. I just have to say, for the next couple of months, you guys are going to have so much invigoration in your first house and your seventh, because in Vedic astrology, when we have more than four or more planets in a single sign, it is, giving an adrenaline shot to the house in which those planets are falling in. And obviously we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a node in your sign right now. Hello, adrenaline shot to the max. In your sign, your rising sign, to a lesser extent the sun or the moon. But also it's making an aspect in Vedic astrology to the 7th house, and that gets the full brunt of all this planetary energy as well, giving an adrenaline shot to your 7th house. So it's Capricorn rising and also Cancer rising people that for the next couple of months have the chance to find love, or to find a committed partnership or a business partnership if that's what you're looking for. The next couple of months is going to be pivotal for you guys, and very invigorating for you guys towards finding some kind of love relationship, particularly on and around Christmas. And the reason is invigoration from your 5th house of love and romance, making a complete exact aspect to the sun, self-worth, self-esteem. So your journey, your trajectory in life, which is seen from the 1st house, the path that you're on, is going to be invigorated and enhanced in a very unique, special way by this trine from Uranus to the planet that rules intimacy in your chart. The Leo is ruled by the sun. It's the 8th house in your chart. It has to do with intimate relationships. So I really think for Capricorn rising people, you guys in the next couple of weeks, triggered by this aspect on Christmas Day, have the opportunity to fall in love and meet a life partner if you are single and looking for one. So for example, you might go to Christmas lunch and your cousin has brought along her best friend whose family were all out of town at Christmas and she didn't want to be alone. Hey, there's the love of your life sitting there at the Christmas table. Who would have thought? So just an example. It can happen in a multitude of ways. But this energy for Capricorn rising single people, very, very good. Invigorated, enhanced, and blessed potential with this. Now, you might need to get out of your comfort zone in order to experience this, but hey, so worth it. If you are a partnered Capricorn person, the invigoration can come in your love life, in your romance with your partner, in your intimate relations. Sun rules Leo, in your intimate relationships with your partner. So the sex life might get amped up by this. This is 5th house is a house of sex. This is the house of your sexuality. So this is the fun of sex. This is your intimacy and how you behave in an intimate manner. So your sex life is likely to be invigorated and enhanced in a really dynamic way. You'll be expressing yourself very uniquely in that environment. You'll be having more fun, romance, more pleasure. It's going to be great for your self-esteem and self-worth to do this, and it is going to help your life path. So whether you're single, whether you're married, these are the realms that are getting activation right now. It's an exciting time for Capricorn rising. It may have felt heavy for a long time with all these planets, and there's some pretty heavy duty planets there, but this energy around Christmas Day is going to be a gift for you, a blessing to you for love, for intimacy, for romance, and connection with others, with lovers, with partners, Also with children, because this is a house of children. So there'll be excitement with children. There'll be fun with children. Obviously, it's Christmas. That's a given. I don't even need to look at the astrology to tell you that's the case. But that will be the energy that prevails on Christmas with this beautiful trine. Lots of excitement, lots of self-expression and getting out of the comfort zone. Okay, getting to the end now. Aquarius rising people. This energy is falling in your 12th house. And as I've said in my last few videos, Aquarius rising people have really had it tough for quite a while now with Saturn and Pluto in their 12th house of loss. The way to master this energy is to focus on escaping in positive, healthy ways to get through this difficult time. So listen to me, Aquarius rising people. I know sometimes Aquarians, it's a fixed sign. It can be a bit stubborn and doesn't like to make change unless there's logical proof. But trust me on this one, you guys. The more that you escape in healthy ways, the better off you're going to cope with this energy. So, get to the day spa, go on a holiday, jump into a novel and escape into a book or a film, rather than, getting on the drugs or alcohol or something like that. But this beautiful energy that we're looking at here is falling in your 4th house and your 12th. So it's through family, your community that you come from, the heritage, the roots, the lineage that you come from, 4th house, as well as your intimate self that many other people do not see. That's going to, this is the realm of invigoration that's going to affect your self-esteem in a positive sense. So for you guys on Christmas Day, if you're having dinner with family, dinner with your heritage, your roots, your lineage, like grandma and grandpa, or dinner with in the community that you come from. Maybe you come from a small town, you've gone back to the small town to have lunch with Auntie Joan or whatever, and here you are with family, and that's going to invigorate you and bless your self-esteem. You're going to get a sense of self-worth from these people that you connect with on Christmas Day. And it might feel a bit uncomfortable. Maybe you haven't had dinner with Auntie Joan for Christmas for years, and it's like, I'm a bit awkward about doing this again. But hey, it's going to be a blessing. Christmas Day is nothing but blessing. So there might be a karmic restitution that's unfolding here, because this is the house of karma. And so by expressing yourself, by being present, by getting out of your comfort zone, there can be a lot of blessing karmically that unfolds at a very core level for you Aquarians, to do with your heritage, your roots, your lineage. And this can include your inner personal roots and lineage as well. So that the stuff that you keep hidden from everybody else, that they don't know about you, this kind of stuff can be very much invigorated, made more authentic, and revealed to you in a beautiful way that absolves karma, that restores and releases karma and gives you a sense of self-worth and self-esteem. There's also a lot more excitement to connect with family now and to escape from the ordinary everyday in some way, through maybe a Christmas lunch or getting away from, work for a while or something like that. How might this express this karma? Well, it can happen in a multitude of ways, and sometimes because this is a very veiled house, it's a very hidden house, we often don't know how the karma is being absolved. We don't see the big picture, because it's like we're in a mist and a fog with the 12th house. But trust me on this one, your connections that you make on Christmas Day with family and your heritage, your roots, your lineage, your community are going to in some way shape your karma, plant new karmic seeds of blessing, and absolve karma that is not supporting your journey. So trust me on this one. Go and connect with family and your roots, and it will help you in more ways than you might realize. How might it express? You go for lunch with Auntie Joan and you're having a big old chat about what grandma used to say, what grandma used to do, and suddenly the penny might drop for you and you realize, that's where I get my habit from. That's where I get my attitude from. And it releases some karmic belief in you, some karmic attitude in you, discovering what grandma thought or the way grandma behaved. There's a release there. There's a karmic resolution there. And now you can consciously plant seeds for better karma, beautiful karma in the future. So this is a very intuitive connection, this one. More than any other sign, Aquarius rising people with this aspect, you're going to be tapped into your own inner intuition. So trust the gut feelings that you have around Christmas Day, day before, day after. Trust your intuition. If you're getting a feeling about something, or the prickling of your thumbs, or tingles down your spine, you know that's the universe telling you this is important. Pay attention. It's a very psychic connection, 12th house to 4th house, that is unfolding for you. So you've really got to listen and observe yourself, your inner reactions, and trust them, particularly regarding where you've come from, who you are, your heritage, your lineage, your karma. Okay, so be on alert for that in the best possible way. This is a beautiful, healthy trine that's being made, but be on the alert and be aware, and you will have epiphanies. You will get that mental karmic release. And we know when we get those moments, if you've had many of those moments in life, suddenly it's like the weight rolls off your back. Finally you understand. Finally you're released from something. And it's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. This is what could unfold for you guys on this day that's going to bless your life. I will also point out for Aquarius Rising, Leo is the ruler of your 7th house of partnership. So there is a connection to partners as well. Committed life partners, maybe business partners as well. But because Leo is the ruler of your 7th house, Aquarius Rising, there could be some invigoration that blesses a partnership, a relationship, as well, maybe through this revelation, and setting yourself free of some karma, then allows your committed life partnerships to blossom and grow in a way that you never imagined. Release, liberation, authenticity, and truth about connection and partnership could well come your way. So quite an interesting Christmas awaits you guys in the most beautiful sense. And finally, for my little angelic Pisces, not so little. I'm not a very little Pisces, I'm very tall. So that's probably a fallacy there to say Pisces is little. This, if you're Pisces rising, but also sun and moon to a lesser extent, beautiful Pisces people, this is falling in your 3rd house and 11th house. So this beautiful trine that's unfolding is happening in an upachaya house, a house that gets better and better with age. I love the 11th house. It's the energy of rewards and gains. It's the energy of connecting with and having friendships. It's the energy of receiving money and remuneration from your worldly aspirations and the worldly achievements you desire to manifest. The legacy that you hope to leave is seen by the 10th house, and as the second from the 10th, the 11th house has to do with receiving rewards and honors for the legacy you hope to leave, the worldly achievements you aspire to create. So this is beautiful. Here, the sun has moved into shining a light in the house of rewards and gains, monetary acquisitions, accolades, honors, a house to do with friendships and networking and large social groups as well. So now is the time, if you're Pisces rising, that your communication efforts, 3rd house, can really invigorate the 11th house of rewards and gains. And it's through this that your self-esteem, seen by the sun, self-esteem, self-worth, self-expression is enhanced. So I'll give an example that may play out in my life, fingers crossed, but I work in the field of communications. I'm something of a teacher of astrology. I put technology is seen from the 3rd house, and writing, speaking, thinking, learning, advertising, marketing. I do all these things as part of my work as an astrologer here. And of course, that's 3rd house energy, a 3rd house job. And here with this trine to the sun in the house of rewards and gains, it is likely for those of us who are Pisces rising, if we do anything in this sphere, social media, marketing, speaking, writing, blah, 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 that we can receive rewards and gains around Christmas time in some way. So maybe if you're me, you put a video up, this video goes up, and suddenly heaps of people watch it, and I get lots of subscribers, please, to my channel. And that, of course, does wonders for my sense of self-worth, my ego, my sense of pride in what I'm doing. The sun rules all those things. So that is one way that this can play out. Your friends can also invigorate your life at this time. Your relatives and siblings are also seen from the third house. So it's connections with relatives and siblings in some way on Christmas Day that can really enhance your sense of self-worth and self-identity, and that can be a reward in itself or an honor in itself. I'll be connecting with my relatives on Christmas Day. I'm very much looking forward to doing that, and I know that it's going to be very affirming to who I am and the work that I do and the person that I am to be with my relatives on this day. So that's another thing. Now there's going to be an increase in self-expression on this day because of this in the most beautiful, harmonious way. So you'll be able to express who you really are with ease and comfort and joy and delight on Christmas Day. You'll be able to even get out of your comfort zone in a way that feels good. Like I said, I'm connecting with my relatives on this day, but they're relatives I haven't seen in a couple of years. And so, it's not familiar, which is to go and spend Christmas with these relatives, but I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so invigorated to do so. So it's not my comfort zone where I would usually spend Christmas, but there's an invigoration there, there's an excitement there about making that connection and getting out of my comfort zone. So this is what it can look like. Relatives, sometimes siblings, not for me in my case, but siblings are seen here, and making connections that are blessed. And of course there's a reward there, and the ability to make friendships and be part of a friendly community seen by the 11th house. The 11th house actually does correlate to communities, so making those new communities rather than old communities, new community connections. So more self-expression in these ways, getting out of the comfort zone, lots of excitement through making these connections for you guys. Rewards, gains, feeling of expansion, feeling of prosperity through making connections with family, through doing your business, which is what I do. Small business is seen from this house as well. So this beautiful trine is bringing authenticity and truth to your communications, and it's going to bring rewards and gains to be authentic, to be true, to be truly yourself, the sun, self-expression. So it is going to be quite a fabulous Christmas all round, lots of joy to look forward to. Thank you for joining me for this look at the week ahead, and particularly the energies of the solstice and the energies of Christmas Day. Let's close with a prayer for a very joyous new year, i.e. solstice celebration in astrological terms. Energy of love and joy in the universe flow to our lives this solstice season and this Christmas season. May the energy of this beautiful solstice that awaits us be the thumbprint, the hallmark for the year ahead. Energy of joy and delight, energy of new beginnings, energy of blessing, especially as the sun marking this new beginning is in very close conjunction with the most beneficial planet, Jupiter. So may that be a signature to us that this year, despite the ups and downs that it might hold, will be invigorated and blessed and expansive and prosperous above all. So thank you for the energy of love that is out there for us. May we tap into it and feel it and share it and display it with all that we come in contact with at this special Christmas season. And so it is. Thanks so much for joining me for this video for Christmas, and I do wish you a very happy festive season. I'll catch you with the last video for 2019, for the whole decade, my last video for the decade next week. Do join me then.